Hello and welcome. My name is Szollosi-Cira and this is an introduction to my YouTube channel, which will discuss my authentic views and opinions about global politics and especially exopolitics. Now, you may ask, what does exopolitics mean? Exopolitics is a scientific effort to understand the interaction between extraterrestrials and humans and how these interactions form our own political life. Exopolitics also claim that without understanding these relations with extraterrestrials, we cannot fully comprehend what is happening in global politics and in international relations. When we discuss exopolitics, we have to analyze various aspects of the so-called mystical realms. For example, the prophecies of Nostradamus, how meditation and remote viewing work, what numerology or astrology suggests, and other paranormal activities. And this will be also an important part of this channel. Now, you may ask who I am to discuss these issues. Well, I am a Hungarian-born economist and I also studied political science. This is practically the social science spectrum, and I can tell I was lucky enough to get help to develop critical thinking skills, and I will use them in my analysis. And I can tell that I was extremely lucky during my studies and also during my life. During my studies, between 1990 and 1994, I was attending high school, and during those years, we were the class that received the most hours of mathematics. Our headmaster was an ambitious young teacher, and he could take on the role to teach us mathematics in 10 hours a week. And this didn't happen before our class in that high school, and it never happened after us. Probably because the workload was quite high. Our headmaster couldn't take on any more class in that many hours. And other teachers were just not that ambitious. Probably that was the cause. Nevertheless, it was so unique for us because mathematics opened up a whole new world for us in the abstract realm. Also, my headmaster in high school was obsessed with quantum mechanics and philosophy. Sometimes we see events that we regard as miracle, but he just explained that it's not miracle. It is just quite highly unlikely that, let's say, a ball will just bounce off from the ground all of a sudden without any preliminary or precursor event. Now, this luck about studies continued on until 2004 when I attended university in Hungary. Why that was the case? It was a divine open period for academia. In 1990, Hungary attempted a transition from communist regime to become a market capitalist country. And in that transition, political parties on both sides, either left, right, center, far left, far right, whichever, they all wanted to learn about the best practices of the Western world. And in this regard, academia was free to discuss any ideas, anything. And after 2004, this openness started to fade away. Before 2004, they were interested in the European Union accession. That's why they were open to discuss any kind of ideas. But then that cooperation and understanding and bipartisan agreement on joining the EU was achieved, And all of a sudden, the divide got stronger and stronger, and academics could no longer discuss anything in their courses. Quite unfortunate, but still, in my younghood, this was defined by this freedom. And I can't find this freedom in Western universities. The divide between left and right, conservatives and liberals, progressives and conservatives, cultural progressives and cultural conservatives are just deepening. And it was present before the 1990s or the 1980s. We cannot deny it. Now, the third one, while I feel lucky, is I can live in New Zealand. Although I am recording this in my car, I promise by the end of this video I will edit some pictures of New Zealand into it, just a teaser. But yes, I moved here in 2015. I started a PhD in politics, and I wanted to settle here because I just love the country. I love the environment here. And the settlement conditions, the residency conditions, were practically tied to skilled job offers. However, because New Zealand is very small and everyone hires who they trust, some call it nepotism, cronyism, whichever you like, we can call it that way. I met that difficulty, yes. But when I finished my PhD, I got a 3-year-long open work visa, and I was optimistic that during 3 years I would find something. Now, what found us was the COVID pandemic, but this brought about an initiative by the government. They realized that owing to their border closures, 160,000 migrants got stranded here. And in 2021, they offered a one-off residency visa for every migrant who got stuck in the country. And this is how I got residency here. Is it a divine intervention? Probably yes. I have a sense of responsibility to share my knowledge with people who are interested. And YouTube changed its algorithm. Practically, it is now interest-based algorithm. So I hope that my views will reach to those people who are similar to me. And as I discuss it later on in this clip too, there will be Patreon videos as well, linked to this channel, which go into a bit more details about the aspects I am talking. They are more controversial or more personal. The reason why I feel responsible to share these thoughts with you is discussed in the first clip on Patreon. The Patreon name is the same as the name of this channel. I can't go into further details about that. Let's go and check it out. Now, shortly, I need to tell you something about the structure of publishing videos on this channel. There will be two kinds of videos. One will be published weekly about my ongoing research. First, I am researching the phenomenon around the Fermi paradox, why it is called Fermi paradox, how we approach the question of non-conclusive evidence of aliens. However, the likelihood is quite large that we should see them. This is the first part. There will be another type of video. Hopefully I can compose a video about the weekly news on exopolitics, and I will publish these in the weekends. The research videos will be published during the week sometime. And hopefully to all the research videos there will be addendum, an additional extension of those theories on Patreon, which are more controversial and YouTube might not allow me to publish them. This is it for today. Stay ahead because I will include some pictures of New Zealand too. Bye for now.